Right. Oh, not even got my headphones on. Right. Hello. Need to get my cans on. How is everyone? Right, let's see if we've got anybody in the chat. I've just posted a link on Twitter. Right, where are we? How are we? Yes, lads. Yes, how are we doing? Neo Bobby, Mohammed, GG Denka Pro, how are we doing? Can you guys hear me all right? How are the levels? I think we're good. I could probably put myself a bit closer. How are we doing? Yes, people. Spurs finally moving in the transfer market, potentially. Lovely setup. Guys, welcome back to the Ben Bowman YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. You probably will notice that it's not a boring cream beige wall behind me. We've actually finally done something about this space. We've done something about the setup. Hope you guys like it. Got some nice Spurs bits. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Got some nice Spurs bits. Got some other bits as well. Sticking by Ange. You can see the Ange Ball book is still in the corner. I hope you guys are all good. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Spurs doing some transfer business as well, and we might be cooking. Who knows? Look, we've left it very late. I've spoken about my discontent about that already on several videos. The fact that we are 29th of January now, and we've not done anything other than sign Kinski, who I think was a really good bit of business. Who we brought in because we needed to react to obviously Fraser Forster being injured and all those kind of things, and it was a deal that was kind of seemingly brought forward from the summer. But the fact that we are 29 days into January and now we are kind of seemingly scrambling around is not good enough. But if we are able to land someone with the quality of Mathys Tel, then I will be able to forgive some of it, because this could be a really good signing for Spurs. A really, really good signing. Mohammed Khan there says, I'm bracing myself for disappointment. Mate, I'm with you. Look, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Mathys Tel. We're going to talk about where he could potentially end up. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that very much. You guys know I've been on my grind. So I appreciate that. You're looking much healthier. Thank you very much, mate. But yeah, we're going to talk about Tel. We're going to talk about Okafor. We're going to talk about Yoanne Wissa as well. Obviously, that's kind of come out of nowhere today. Everyone's gagging to talk about Tel, so we'll get into that shortly. But I just wanted to chat a couple of things, right? A couple of very, very quick things. Who's that mug on TalkSport? Who's that? Who's that there? Who's that then? Is that me? Basically, guys, I'm not sure if you've seen, well, you might have seen, I tweeted about it earlier. TalkSport have launched a brand new Spurs podcast called Inside Spurs. You might know that they've got kind of club-specific podcasts for Man United, for Arsenal, for Chelsea, and they've launched a Spurs one. And I was very grateful to be on the first show with Abby Summers, brilliant Abby Summers, who's going to be hosting every week. I was on there with Sonny Talk Spurs, Sonny Snell in there yesterday as well. It is now out for you guys to watch on YouTube. Let me see if I can make this a bit smaller so you can see it. It's on, if you go down on their YouTube channel, I'll put a link in the description as well. It's here. This one here, in negligence from the top, maybe actually sign some adults. If you go on there, you'll find us. So make sure to go and leave a like on there, leave some nice comments as well, and get involved. Massively appreciate your guys' support, which means that I can kind of do things like that. Super cool. Also, second thing, very quickly before we actually get into talking about Spurs, FC Bottle Job, mine and Seb's, also have another Spurs fan, brand new podcast. First episode was out on Monday. We did chat a bit of Tottenham, then we put a clip out today if you want to go and watch that, if you haven't watched the podcast already. Go and subscribe. We're nearly at 700 subscribers on there already. We're going to be recording again tomorrow, so your support, again, we'd massively appreciate it on that. It's not a Spurs podcast. Obviously, we will be covering Spurs on there because we're covering all things Premier League, but go and drop a sub. Also, go and follow both the TikTok pages as well, and drop me a follow on Twitter. Yeah, but thanks so much, guys, for allowing me to get, sick opportunities like this. Anyway, right, down to the football. Down to the important stuff. Tottenham will be prepared to do something important for Mathys Tel, according to Fabrizio Romano. Now, look, there's been a lot of stuff about Tel today. The Tel kind of saga generally has been going on for a while now. Not with Tottenham necessarily, but rumours of a move to the Premier League. Now, he has made it clear that basically, I remember Fabrizio Romano saying a couple of days ago that the situation with Mathys Tel has changed. He wasn't necessarily expected to leave Bayern this window, but that situation changed, and it is now very much changing, and it looks like Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United could be in hot pursuit of him. Now, look, the attacker market has kind of gone nuts. Today. Proby, thanks very much for the super chat, mate. I hope you enjoyed coming over for the Leicester game on Sunday. I very much appreciate that. The attacker market's kind of gone nuts, really, today. Obviously, the Watkins potential move to Arsenal. John Duran looking like he's leaving Villa as well. So there's a lot happening. There is a lot happening, and Mathys Tel is a name that's been linked with a lot of clubs. Now, Chelsea, it's a very interesting one with Chelsea. Let me just make sure I pull the right tab up here. Mathys Tel, apparently, according to sources in Germany, made it clear that he didn't want to go to Chelsea because one of the things that he values the most about leaving Bayern is getting that game time. Now, if you think about all the clubs that Mathys Tel has been linked with, right? Obviously, Chelsea remain in talks. They're trying to get that deal done. I'll be honest. I don't want to say this. I am still fearful that he might move to Chelsea because although Tel has apparently turned them down and said that I want the game time, which I appreciate that. As someone so young who wants to kind of go and get away from Bayern to go and exactly that, it'd be easy for him to go to Chelsea and maybe just become another player there and pick up the salary. I just don't trust Chelsea not to kind of, I guess, spin themselves in a bit of a web of lies and kind of make him false promises and pay him a load of money to come, because they've been in quite hot for him. But if this news is right and he is turning them down, then it obviously looks decent for Tottenham. Now, Paul O'Keefe, I haven't got the tweet up, but Paul O'Keefe said in one of his deep, people say his deep thread reply bombers, where he said that the lad wants Man United. Tel apparently wants Manchester United. They've asked for loan conditions. Now, the thing is with Manchester United is that obviously I think that Bayern would be more likely to. Apparently, one of the sources that I saw earlier, I haven't got all of the tweets up. I've obviously been watching the Champions League tonight, and I wanted to do this before. I kind of just pulled everything together, so I haven't got all of the information. But just kind of going off what I remember seeing earlier on Twitter was that Bayern wanted at least an option or an obligation in some of the loan deals. I think it was an option, right? So Manchester United haven't really got the money unless they sell Garnacho or Rashford to fund any sort of permanent move for Tel. Obviously, the loan kind of leaves it open for United. But if Tottenham come in and give the money, or Chelsea come in and give the money, obviously Bayern are far more likely to do that kind of deal because of the money that they can make on someone like Tel. I think it'd be decent money. And according to Fabrizio Romano, and some people are also saying that I don't think the fee is going to be a problem for Tottenham if that's who they really want, because he is our top target, according to Fabrizio. Obviously, Okafor has been linked as well. I'll be honest, I don't know that much about Okafor. I know he scored 1 goal this season, which isn't obviously great. I think it was in about 10 or 11 starts. Mathys Tel is the exciting name. He is 100% the exciting name. And I think this would be a really smart bit of business for Spurs if they can get it done. Like I said, we have had to be really patient in this January window. I'm not saying I think it is. I've still got this horrible feeling that Chelsea are going to kind of come in and just kind of make maybe these false promises to Tel and get him to come in and get him to go there and maybe convince him. Mid says, Macca, yeah, I'm not... with Okafor, it's not the most exciting one in the world. But Macca is telling everybody that Tel looks good. By the way, have some inside knowledge if looks good. Mac, you've got my number, mate. You've got my number. Bayern and United don't do business much. Bayern and Tel want a permanent or buy or after loan. United don't want that. They just want a loan. They haven't got the money to finance a permanent deal or an obligation to buy. So, at the moment, if Arsenal have got their sights set on Watkins, I think it leaves it far more open for Tottenham and Chelsea. I think Tottenham and Chelsea will be the main two teams in the race. Love the Guinness hat, by the way. Thanks, Gary. Love your videos, mate. Good tactical analysis perspective. Very eloquent. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that a lot. But, yeah, I think Tottenham and Chelsea are kind of the most open in the race for for Tel. I just, like I said, I think I've got this horrible feeling that Chelsea will do what Chelsea do and somehow convince him to go there. But if you're looking at it from Tel's perspective, right, Tottenham are a mess right now. We all know that, right? But in terms of the long-term project, in terms of somewhere where you're going to get game time, definitely. You're not guaranteed that at Chelsea. You're guaranteed that right now at Tottenham. It's interesting, Travis, right? How you doing, mate? It's really funny because I tweeted out saying, let me get on my mentions. I tweeted out saying, where was it? I tweeted out saying, it was about, I can't even find it now. Still feel like there we go. Sorry about that. Still feels like Tel ends up at Chelsea. Will Rayner, who is quite a big Chelsea account, said, Ben, we've been after him all month and he keeps telling us to piss off. True, but I just feel like you get it done, is what I said. Even young players have seen through us now. Word of mouth travels. What do you reckon Lise says about his dealings with our board? What if he asks any of the French lads at Chelsea? I genuinely cannot see it. So I think some Chelsea fans aren't that confident of actually landing Tel. But you know what Chelsea are like. If Spurs want to go big, then I think we can maybe get this one done. And if he's not going to go to Chelsea, I think it leaves us open the most. I think Tel offers that versatility. I think genuinely the sky is the limit when it comes to this lad. I think he's a real talent. Can play as a striker, can play as a winger. Again, people might say, what does that say about the long-term development of players like Mikey Moore? I think one thing that I would think about Moore is that you can also... Moore has got that brilliant versatility as well, where you can shift him over to the right, play him as a right winger and a left winger. Tel, I think, is more suited to the left or as a striker. I think Tel as the kind of rotation option as a striker with Solanke next season, if you can move on with Richarlison, I think that puts our striker position in a better place as well. I really like Tel. I really like the idea of this. And if Spurs can get it done, then I'll be super excited. But we'll see what happens. Look, I might be doing another live tomorrow saying that it looks like he's going to Chelsea, or there could be a video out on the channel, Spurs being on the cusp of potentially signing him. And, there's a breakdown video from your boy, right, who's going to tell you exactly why you should be excited. Bayern want Nkunku, Chelsea want Tel. Who said that in the comments just now? Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Richarlison isn't even bad. No, I agree with Richarlison. It's just that, I think Spurs probably do need to move on and find another backup striker. But yeah, Mudryk. Travis says Mudryk isn't there. Neto isn't a perfect fit. Sancho isn't on loan for now and older, and mainly Jackson isn't prioritised. He'll want to play striker. Yeah, potentially. It just makes me sick that you think about the players at Chelsea have signed and they still want more wingers. But you're right, not a lot of them are perfect fits. That's kind of what they wanted. That's kind of why they wanted Garnacho, right? And obviously that's gone very cold. It feels like Tel might be a priority for them. I just feel like Chelsea potentially try and convince him that they're going to get that he's going to get the game time. I do think that. I do really think that. Obviously they've got Madueke as well. Got Palmer who can play out wide, but he's obviously their long-term 10. I don't know. I'm excited about the potential of this. But I just think that Chelsea will do what Chelsea do, and I just think they might get this one done, unfortunately. Travis, thanks for congrats on TalkSport. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Forest had an inquiry turned down for Tel last month. We've got a Forest fan in the chat. Wow, NFC Spencer. Wonder if they're one of the other clubs. Maybe, potentially. Obviously, you tried to go for Cunha as well. And Kunku is important for Chelsea. Yeah. It's going to be... Someone said, remember, we have Odebear who could convince. They are national team teammates, after all. That is very true. Ben, I'm Swiss, and I can tell whoever Okafor plays for the national team is super exciting to watch. Okay. Odebear and Tel are friends. How about United? Any chance he goes there? I think it's Tottenham and Chelsea. I'll be honest. Even though he said that he doesn't want to go to Chelsea, I think fans might get excited because of that. I think Chelsea fans might get a little bit pessimistic because of that, but I still think he ends up at Chelsea. I genuinely do believe that. But I think Tel... sky's the limit for him as a talent. Striker, left winger, kind of playing those half spaces in between the wing, out wide and in the box, kind of coming in, shooting from that side. Pace, skill, power. I think he's got a lot of it. I really like the idea of Mathys Tel. But one other name, obviously, was Okafor, who we mentioned. This was very interesting, came out on TalkSport earlier. I haven't read the full article, but there was just this headline. Tottenham could spend 180 million this transfer window and not breach PSR. I know, spending 180 million pounds isn't necessarily realistic, but we have the money to spend. and it's just the negligence of like letting our squad get to a position where we are in such a crisis when it comes to the injuries. Like, how have we left it this late? Someone was saying, obviously, like I would rather prioritise a world-class defensive midfielder over another forward. I think the 6 market is kind of hard enough as it is. I don't think you're going to get who you want in January. I agree. I think we do need attacking reinforcements 100% when you think of the injuries that we've got in that area. And also, I think the lack of game changers that we have got. I think Tel is also kind of in keeping with the overall projects. And I think he's also got the quality to make an impact now, which is really good. And, again, it's one of those other signings where in 2-3 years' time, you're always looking at it. But I think he's one that you can't pass up on. Same as Tyler Dibbling. Like, I'd absolutely love to Spurs to sign Tyler Dibbling. If Spurs were able to bring in Tel and Dibbling in January, and look, I don't think I think Spurs could potentially agree a deal for Dibbling in January, but I don't necessarily think that he will come. Obviously, he's injured at the moment anyway. I think it's probably more likely one of those ones that might get done in the summer, like a kind of agree a deal that he comes then. So they kind of Tel for me and Dibbling are talents that if they come along to you and are available to you, then I don't think you can pass up on them. But let's talk about Yoanne Wissa, because this was obviously a very interesting one. Maz says our starting wingers can't dribble, mate. Yeah, that is a problem in terms of the profiles. In terms of the profile, I totally agree. And that's why we missed Wilson Odobert. I've been saying it for ages. I am going tomorrow, yes. I actually bought a ticket very last minute. I wasn't going to go, and then I was kind of get sucking in, to be honest. I'm in the South Stand. I can't remember where. I'm not in my usual seat. Angel Gomez is another one there from Tom, who was balling out tonight for Lille. And I agree. I actually tweeted about Angel Gomez during the game and said, kind of gave my thoughts on Gomez. Angel Gomez is an absolute baller. I'd be interested to know how interested Spurs are and what the plan would be for him. We need a number 6. Right, apologies for that. I am back. I'm back. Don't worry, I am back. I need to get onto my broadband provider, GigaClear. The internet is so good and so fast. Like, it allows me to be able to stream and upload so quickly, and we basically just don't have any issues anywhere else in the house other than in like my bedroom / like office, basically. So yeah, it just kind of dips out like that sometimes, annoyingly. But it should be fine for the rest of the stream now. I just need to get onto them and actually speak to them. What was I saying? Yeah, about... I'm not sure if you guys... is the audio cutting out? I think... I'm just going to... You guys tell me if you can hear me. Audio keeps cutting. Oh, that's not good. Is it okay now? Sorry, obviously it's a nightmare doing this live and trying to produce and essentially edit on the go. Edit audio fine for me. Okay, maybe refresh and cut. If your audio's not fine, maybe just refresh. Anyway, sorry about that. We're back. Right, Tyler Dibbling, like I said, I think is a player that you can't pass up on in terms of that talent. Also, yeah, Angel Gomez was another one. I tweeted out Angel Gomez is an absolute baller. I'd be interested to know how interested Spurs are and what the plan would be for him. We need number 6. I don't see that working at all. But as an 8, I would really like him. Where were we on Wissa? Now, Wissa, this is an interesting one, right? Wissa is a... thank you, Gary. I appreciate that, mate. Wissa is... Right, I'm so sorry, lads. It's just a nightmare. Just keep, like I was trying to explain earlier with the broadband, it's just the cutting out is just incredibly annoying. But we will get it sorted, don't worry. Even the stream's injured, mate. Yeah, Mathys Tel saying goodbye to the Bayern fans. I'm back like Van der Ven. Sorry, yeah, I'm so sorry about this, guys. I'm really, really sorry. Please make sure to stick with me. If it goes again, then I might just, we'll try and rattle through everything, so... Audio cutting. I'd just say refresh if the audio's cutting. I'm so sorry that this happened. Right. Yeah, so, yeah, someone said it in the chat there, but Mathys Tel was saying goodbye to the Bayern fans. It seemed like I think he's coming to England, but we'll just see whether it's Spurs or Chelsea. Anyway, I will get to talk about Wissa now. I will talk about Wissa. I don't know if you guys heard me talking before. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that, mate. Get Ben and Seb in midfield tomorrow, mate. Go and subscribe to FC Bottle Job. Mine and Seb's brand new Premier League, all football podcast. And also, lads, please. If you're not already, please go and subscribe to Darren and Doing, my Tottenham podcast with Will Hester. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So if you're not subscribed, the link is in the description. Weekly Spurs podcast, twice a week usually. Go and subscribe to that. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. Well, finally, Wissa, right? Wissa. Now, I'm not sure how much I believe this. However, it definitely does seem like it's almost like Paratici's back involved with the amount of rumours that are kind of coming and flying about. The last 24 hours. Obviously, Okafor, Tel and Wissa are three attackers that we've been quite heavily linked with. Wissa, like I said, I think, again, offers you that versatility across the front line. He's experienced, Premier League proven. How many goals has he scored this season? I think he's got 10 goals this season. I think he's a really good finisher. Mike, cut out for me. Okay, if it's cutting out, maybe refresh. It should be all right now. Yeah, he's a really good finisher, versatility, good link-up play, thrives running in behind. I think he's a little bit, obviously with the age as well, like he's not necessarily a long-term fix. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't necessarily mind it as an alternative to Tel. I'd prefer Tel, definitely, don't get me wrong. But Wissa would be a... I can't see... Obviously, Nottingham Forest were in for him. I think Nottingham Forest had a bid of like 20-odd million turned down. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much they'd accept. I think also, from what I understand, Yoanne Wissa is a CAA-based client. So, obviously, we know about CAA-based and their connections with Tottenham and the amount of players that are assigned to that agency. Obviously, it's a step up in terms of, well, you'd imagine it's a step up in terms of wages. Obviously, we all know about our frustrations with Spurs not spending the money on the wages. Someone said about Ryan Cherky, they're available for £20 million. I want to know what else Spurs are going to try and do other than the attackers, because we need reinforcements elsewhere as well. Like, I understand we can't get our 6 in now. I get that. I get that January's not easy, and I don't want to be making excuses. But because it is just complete negligence that we've got to this point without signing an outfield player. But Wissa, I like Wissa. I do like Wissa. He's a very good finisher. His XG numbers will tell you that. I think he's got the second best XG in the Premier League behind Haaland this season. Knows where the back of the net is. Good work rate. Will press. Will be aggressive. I don't mind it. I just can't see it happening. What else we got to talk through quickly before we go? Oh, but yeah. So that's probably it for the transfers. Look, if anything happens tomorrow, we'll be back streaming again tomorrow. Don't worry. We'll be back streaming again tomorrow. Obviously, Vicario back in training on the grass. Van der Ven back. He's in the squad for tomorrow. Romero not quite there yet. I don't think it's necessarily a setback with Romero. It just seems that maybe he's just not quite as far along, or maybe they're being more careful with him because of the nature of the injury. But Van der Ven is back. I'd imagine he might play some part tomorrow. I definitely wouldn't start him. I'd give him like 20 minutes maybe, and then hopefully be able to start him against Brentford. It seems like he has been back in training for longer than maybe we think, or maybe it seems. I don't think it was like this was his first training session back. Obviously, the media get full access to the training the day before European games, so I think it's why it's kind of been made more of a big deal out of. And obviously, Spurs posted the clip. I think he's been doing training for a while on the grass. That is obviously positive news. I don't know how reliable this is, but someone put a update out. Jed Spence, and actually said Jed Spence said himself that he's going to be back for the weekend, which is good. Obviously, Reguilon can't play tomorrow either, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. Sarr should be available. Sarr apparently is available. Romero also fit and available. Apparently, the club are being extra careful. Look, this is just ITK stuff, but who knows? Now, this is very interesting. Let me just mute my mic so we can listen to the beautiful tones of Dejan Kulusevski.
In terms of recent form, though, recent form has been poor. You've lost a lot of games. How easy is it to keep the faith in what the manager wants you to do in your own positivity, because there's a lot of outside noise about whether or not there should be a new manager, whether or not the team should be playing so attacking.
Yeah, opinions change. It's not for me. I don't listen to no one because I know the truth. I see the truth from my side. It's not important what people say. It has never been, actually. But like you said, league is very bad. League is very bad, and also the game on Sunday it was tough to lose. But I think that you have to stay clear-minded and focus on the goals. And we have done mistakes. Don't get me wrong. We have done a lot of mistakes. I think we're 11 fit players. We're almost 10 fit players on 4 competitions. That's not okay, and that's why the team is paying that price in the league, especially with that many games and no players. So that's what I can tell you. Like, you can look at the manager, you can look at the players, but I think it's bigger than that. It's everything involved.
Wow. You can look at the manager, it's bigger than that, but it's bigger things involved. Obviously, Kulusevski, look, that's your kind of captain right there, I think. That's your captain there. Well, not your captain necessarily. I think we all kind of want Decky to be a captain. But like the leadership, the clarity in which he speaks as well, the responsibility that he takes, but also the recognition, you know, he wants to be ambitious. And also, I thought a lot of the quotes he said on Ange, like in terms of the football, I wonder if there's let me just quickly try and find it because I'm not actually sure I got it up. We'll come back to these quotes in a second, but Kulusevski was talking about Ange and how they're behind him. Let me just quickly. Right, lads, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just not good enough, is it? Right, I was trying to find Postecoglou. Right, I think we should be back. I'm so sorry. Like, this keeps happening. It's just not. It's just so frustrating. This was sorry. Right, this was the quote about Ange.
We had games where we showed perfect football that not many teams can play in the world. We played beautiful games against United, City away 4-0. So, you know, I think he's the right man. We play for him. We want to win for him. And to be honest, we have a little bit same ideas because I'm very positive as a guy. I always want to play that football that he wants. So I have to fight for him because I believe in that football too. So, yeah, I think he's the right man.
I've always said, whether you like Ange or not, I've always said that Dane Kulusevski, I think, is the player who kind of epitomises Ange's philosophy the most on the pitch in terms of that bravery, in terms of that desire to attack, the desire to be positive in every action that he does, that kind of spirit, the mentality that he shows as well to win. I've always, I think in terms of, obviously Sonny is the captain of the club and obviously Decky isn't in the leadership group. But I just think in terms of having almost your manager on the pitch in terms of what they want to do and how they want to execute, how you want to play, I think Kulusevski is almost like the closest, he's the closest thing to that. I think he sees eye to eye with Ange on a lot of things, and hopefully that means that, you know, look, I still have faith that we can turn this around under Ange. I think it's so bleak right now. I think his job is on the line, and I think he has to take a lot of responsibility for what has happened. The manager, the buck stops with him at the end of the day, regardless of the injury situation, which is obviously a huge factor. But I think the players still believe in him, and I think that is, well, certainly Kulu, you know, Romero, our bigger players, they really believe in what he wants to do, which is obviously super positive. So the longer, that's kind of the transcript of the quotes. Ange was asked about the kind of Levy, anti-Levy sentiment. I spoke a lot in my YouTube. I'm not going to speak about it now because I spoke a lot about it on my channel, which you can find it. Tottenham Hotspur a mess. I spoke about it a lot in that video about my thoughts on the ownership, and also on the TalkSport show as well. I spoke about it quite a lot. So if you want to go and watch that. We spoke a lot about the ownership on there, so I'm not going to speak about it now because I need to go soon. Postecoglou asked what his message would be to angry Spurs fans, and he said, my message would be to tell all Spurs fans, because I represent them, all, not just the angry ones that you're referring or maybe talking to, all Spurs fans, we're working hard to turn this around. That's the thing. I said, obviously, we know the situation, notwithstanding the fact that the possibilities and opportunities in the second half of the season are still very much in our hands to capitalise on and still make a successful season. He said it, look, it is all in Spurs' hands. It's going to be super difficult. It's going to be super, super difficult. And I still think Ange's job is on the line. I still want to believe in him. He's saying the right things. They're obviously working very hard on the training pitch and on the footballing side of things. They're not working hard enough off of the pitch for Ange to kind of give him what he needs. But he needs to kind of maybe adapt, find a way to just get results in this period as well, obviously. But they are working hard to turn it around. The players and the manager and the coaching staff, I genuinely do believe that. It's just that I feel like they're being let down by the people off the pitch who are not working hard enough to make it work on the pitch and give Ange the tools that he needs in this really difficult time. So, good quotes from Decky, good quotes from Ange. Obviously, we've seen Mathys Tel saying goodbye to the Bayern fans. We'll see what happens with that. Also, big news, John Duran, here we go to Al Nassr. So, we'll see how that kind of affects the rest of the market. Huge. Right, that is going to be it for me. Little late night stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with some more positive transfer news. Obviously, I said to you guys that I wanted to do a lot more of these throughout January. That just hasn't really materialised because we haven't really been linked with anybody. So, and we can't talk about nothing, right? So, but if you wanted to see my thoughts on stuff like in the interim and everything like that, go to my TikTok pages and you'll be able to find me over there, and Twitter. Thanks so much for the support. Go and subscribe to Daring and Doing. Go and subscribe to FC Bottle Job. Go and watch the TalkSport podcast as well, Inside Spurs. I'm going to be a regular guest on it as well, so get used to seeing my face on your screens and stuff like that. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your evening. I will see you tomorrow. Nice one.